you've been lied to about life insurance. Here's the brutal truth about term insurance versus whole life insurance and why high-income earners are getting screwed by doing the wrong things with it. Okay, so let's talk about term life insurance. Now, term life insurance is the most popular one. How many times have you heard people say, buy term, invest the difference? Even your Dave Ramsey's of the world are saying, buy that term insurance, buy that cheap insurance. And that is the benefit. It is cheap. Why is term insurance so cheap? Well, I'll tell you, having been behind the scenes with life insurance companies, they will tell you this: less than 1% of all of their term insurance policies ever pay out. Less than 1%. Think about this. That means that for the most part, insurance companies know that all the profits come from term life insurance. This is why it's so cheap when you're younger. Now, as you get older, it does get more expensive. And this is what they're literally banking on. They're banking on the fact that as it gets more expensive, let's just say that you're 30 years old, you buy a 20-year term, and then you're 50. And you're like, cool, well, I can get a 20-year term. Ooh, that's more expensive, but all right, maybe I'll get a 20-year term, and it goes till you're 70 years old. Well, great, now you got that term up till you're 70. But guess what? The average person doesn't die at age 70, do they? They die much later, closer to 80. But by the time you get to 70, you're saying, wait, if I want this $1 million death benefit, it's going to cost me tens of thousands of dollars a year? That's not worth it. Forget it. Cancel it. And just so you know, that's exactly what the life insurance companies teach you. And this is why so many high-income earners get screwed, because they literally bank on this. They even tell the financial advisors, and I know I was one of them. I was the traditional financial advisor, the salesman in a suit who doesn't get paid to make you money, just sell you crap, right? They would teach us the same thing. They would say, listen, when you build up enough assets, this is what we tell our clients, you build up enough assets until your 60s, you can retire, then you can cancel your life insurance. Isn't that the best strategy to make the life insurance company more money? They're saying cancel life insurance right before they would probably have to pay it out. Brilliant, isn't it? For them, but not for you. And that's the problem we're running into, is that so many people are buying these life insurance policies, and then when they actually need it, it's too expensive to afford it. So although term insurance is great, especially if we want cheap insurance for now, long term it's not good. This would be like renting for the rest of your life. You know that if you rent the rest of your life, you'll have to keep paying a higher rent payment. Well, what if you can have a mortgage payment that stays the same for 30 years, and then maybe you won't have to pay for it anymore? Well, that's where we come to permanent life insurance or whole life insurance, because that's what it's like. Where term insurance is like renting, whole life insurance is like owning a home. It's like having a mortgage. It might be more expensive up front in the beginning, but it stays the same the rest of your life. And the cool thing is you don't have to pay into it forever. Traditional whole life you do. This is the bad part of whole life insurance, right? Is that the bad part of whole life insurance is that it is expensive up front. But the bad part is also is that most insurance agents write them that in a way that benefits the agent more than it benefits you. Because here's the deal, the costs are expensive in those first few years. So the costs are the opposite of term insurance. Where term insurance gets more expensive over time, whole life starts out more expensive and then gets cheaper over time. So those first few years are really expensive. A traditional whole life plan, if you were to put money in for 2 or 3 years, you would see almost all of your dollars going in to pay for the insurance. This is why a lot of people scream and hate on whole life insurance, and they should, because I don't like that either. But what most people don't know is that you can pull different levers of that whole life insurance to make it work better. I'll get into that in a minute. So anyways, whole life insurance, the benefit is it does cover you your whole life. You don't have to worry about it running out. And yes, there can even be a point where you stop paying into it. You don't have to pay it your whole life, even though that's what traditional plans do. You could stop paying maybe in your 50s or 60s or maybe even sooner, right? But you can pay into it for a while and then stop paying into it. But you have a death benefit that's guaranteed. Here's the other benefit of whole life insurance is that it has this tax-free high-yield savings account that's a part of it too. So where term insurance is just death insurance, right? Whole life insurance has a death benefit plus a tax-free cash account. They call it cash value. They have this tax-free account that's now paying right around like 5-6+% a year in tax-free dividends. And so that money's in there. Now, like I said, if you get the traditional whole life plan, all your money is going to pay for those costs. Very little goes into this account. But eventually, after so many years, it does. If you use our Max ROI Infinite Banking plan, the cool thing is you can lower those costs quite a bit to where almost all of your money goes to this tax-free savings account. So yes, you get the death benefit to protect your family, but then you also get this cash account that now is growing tax-free, comes out tax-free. Oh, and by the way, in most states, it's 100% protected from lawsuits and creditors. So much like a Roth IRA, But a Roth IRA is not protected from lawsuits and creditors, but this grows tax-free, comes out tax-free. This is accessible money. But unlike the Roth IRA, where it has all these rules like 59.5, or where you get penalties and whatnot, you don't have those rules with life insurance. So you don't have to wait till you're in your 60s or 70s to access it. You can actually use that money now. You can use it as an emergency fund. You can use it to pay for your kids' college. Heck, you can use it to pay for your own college. You can use it to pay for a down payment on a property or help buy certain things. If you don't want to get a loan from a bank, you can go use this instead as actual cash reserves. There's so many ways you can use this. Walt Disney even used this so that he could actually build Disneyland. It was the down payment he used while ABC came in with the rest of the money. And so he's able to use that as collateral so that he can get the rest of the finance money to be able to build the happiest place on earth so you can wait in line for 2 hours. That's the credible thing, is that it can be used in so many different ways, but yet so people teach it. And in the long run, what you'll find out is this, is that term life insurance, if you keep paying into it forever, what you'll find out is even if you try to keep renewing it, by the time you hit your late 70s, you've already paid for your death benefit. It's almost a waste of money at that point. This is why Tom Wheelwright, who also is an author with some of the Rich Dad, Poor Dad books, Tom Wheelwright will say term insurance is an expense, but whole life insurance is an asset. Because where, yes, you'd be paying in forever for term insurance and you have to keep making those payments. And when you stop, you lose it. Whole life insurance, you can pay in and then stop. You don't have to pay into it your whole life. It's there, it's guaranteed. It's always guaranteed to grow. It's always guaranteed to make at least 3% plus in those accounts, even in bad years. And by the way, there are insurance companies that have been paying every single year above their minimum guarantee since like the 1840s and 1850s. That was before Abraham Lincoln was even talking about the 7 years ago. He would have said 7 years ago, back when these guys were starting to make money, like really paying people money. That's the thing that's so cool, is that this is something that's been proven time and time again, and the world, they've been using it forever, yet because of the bad media out there, especially financial advisors or financial experts that have their own preferences at play, and because life insurance companies make so much more money off of term insurance than they do whole life insurance, they're always shoving term insurance as the answer down your throat. Yet, not just high income earners, but wealthy have figured this out already. They have the right people to tell them, no, whole life insurance is the way you want to go. That's the one way you're going to have a guarantee, and you're going to have way more money, way more death benefit than what you pay into it, and even more cash in that tax-free savings account than what you paid in as well. That's the difference. Term insurance is only an expense, and you have to keep paying, and eventually, if you live long enough, you've now lost money in it. Where with whole life insurance, it grows to be bigger than that term insurance. That's the main benefit. That's the main difference. And if you're a high income earner believing still that old crap about term insurance is the way to go, buy term, invest the difference, no, because guess what? If you use our Max ROI Infinite Banking strategy, you can not only buy whole life, but you can still invest the difference outside of it. So you can make money inside of it and invest it at the same time, making money in 2 places at once, and therefore beating any of that buy term, invest the difference crap that they tell you out there. Now, if you want to know how to go down this rabbit hole and learn more about how that really works and know what does work versus what doesn't work, go to moneyripples.com/infinite-banking, and you can actually learn more about how you can actually make this work in your life today.